We're live.
We're live? Okay. Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm here. Are you here?
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're going to come today. Wee-hee. Oh, wow. Javi took that thumbnail show my messed up table, right? I don't know. We might have to redo that.
Well, of course. I have to redo it anyway.
Anyway, I just got so much stuff that I want to talk to you about today that I almost called this video, it's about a whole lot of stuff. But then I realized what I wanted to talk to you most about was old vintage Czech jewelry. And I don't have any that belongs to me because when I had the good stuff, I sold it back in the day because it was easy to sell. I got good money for it. And boy, do they get a lot of money now. And it's for what they call, what we called back in the day, we called it heavy duty Czech. Because it wasn't little wimpy necklaces, you know, or little tiny brooch. It was like something going on, baby, let me tell you. And it was wonderful, and it still is. Well, I was looking at Pinterest the other day to try and get some inspiration for the group, so kind of see if I could get some of them to come, some of you pals to come along with me on a journey, and let's do something a little bit different than what we've been doing. So, you know, I got to teach by example, so I went there to look for some stuff to show you. Oh, wow, did I find some super duper stuff that we could figure out how to adapt parts I carry or that you have in your stash. And we won't come up with that exact look because they don't make all those parts anymore, but some they do. And you can make something in that style, but that is yours. And isn't that great? That's just wonderful when you can do that. Well, since we got 19 in the house already. Betty Strongman's here. Hey, Betty. She's enchanted to be here. Soleil's here. Hey. Julie, our good friend Julie is showing up. She's so faithful all the time comes. Let's see, Karen Mansell too, and Amy Abbott. Heidi's back this week. Debbie Gibson. I feel like Miss Barbara in Romper Room. That's for your time. You don't remember that. No, you couldn't possibly. When I was a little girl, you guys remember Miss Barbara in Romper Room? How many remember Miss Barbara? Anyway, the Romper Room was a kid's show. And at the end, she would take her, it looked like a hand mirror. It probably was. And she would say, oh, she could see us, you know. I see you, hi. And she would say hi to me. She'd just pull names out of her hat. And of course, she never said Brenda because Brenda wasn't a real popular name back in the late 50s, so early 60s. So I think I only heard her say Brenda one time. But I freaked out when she said Brenda. So I feel like Miss Barbara calling out all your names. We've got a bunch of people in the house now. Ann, look. Is that how you say it, Ann? Well, you can't speak back to me. Sometime out there how you say your name. Sandy's here. Colleen's here, Renee Cochran's here, Jane Brown, hello, Annette Parker, and Amy Abbott says she remembers, and Colleen says she remembers, Debbie Gibson says she remembers, Sandy says she remembers, yep, Passions and Pastimes says she remembers Romper Room. Hi from Vancouver Island. Hi Sharon, thanks for joining us. I think we see a few new ones here. Joyce Bailey's here. Hey Joyce, we're gonna see Joyce at the May workshop. In fact, we're going to see Colleen there, and we're going to see Julie too. And I can't remember who else I saw, but there's a few here. And we'll talk to you a little bit more about that too, because it's a fantastic, wonderful bonding experience, and we learn a lot together. That's a real live one. You got me in person for 3 days, if you can stand it. And I got you too, so that's great. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Heidi says, I've been sick with the crud for the past 2 weeks. Finally feeling better. I'm glad you are too. Who needs the crud, right? Yeah, it always comes out in the end of winter, doesn't it? Deborah Bolduc. Yeah, Deborah Bolduc. And you're from Quebec, aren't you, Deborah? So they had Miss Barbara in Quebec too.
What?
Yeah, Deborah speaks French too. I know, I've seen her doing it. Wish I spoke French. Hey, here's Melissa from Long Beach, California. Let's see. Okay, well, let me go on with the stuff for today, okay? And so that I can get it all in here because I just got so much to talk about. So yesterday, we were talking about all this fantastic jewelry that I was finding. And I'll just give you a few examples of what I was finding. First one that really, really sent me to the moon. I hope you can see this. I had to copy them out because, of course, I don't own these pieces. But I'm hoping you can see to which I am referring.
Well, I'll zoom in.
Yeah, you can zoom in. Okay, can you zoom in on this one?
Yep.
Javi? Okay.
There you go.
This is a pendant off of a piece of, I believe you would say it, Niger Brothers jewelry. I know Colleen knows what Niger Brothers jewelry is. Does anybody else know? It's fantastic. It's 20s Czech jewelry. The Niger Brothers, Max and his brother. I can't remember the brother's name. They had a cottage industry business, just like many of us do, just like I do, in their house. And at that time in Czechoslovakia, about the only brass type stamping stuff you could get would be like for chandeliers, you know? So they used the parts from chandeliers of brass, and then they found some other things that would work, and pretty soon they were making the most fantastic jewelry. And this was a pendant from theirs. And the reason I'm showing you this one first was because as soon as I saw it, I freaked. I says, I know that piece. There's a brass stamping like that, and I'm sure the die was cut from an original Niger Brothers piece. Absolutely was, because the pattern follows exactly. And I don't have one of those right now, but I have had one. But this one, and I don't know if, you know what, I'm going to show you not in gold, I'm going to show you in the gingerbread because you're going to be able to see it better. Look at this. Now, where do you suppose this glorious filigree from the 1928 Jewelry Company came from originally? Piece of Niger Brothers. They used to go to Europe several times a year and go through the fleas and the antique shops picking up pieces of jewelry that they could cast pieces off of. And I'm not quite sure. I talked to Mel yesterday, and I told him about it, and I was just like all excited. He's, well, you know, maybe it's hard to prove. He's, I really don't know. I can't remember. He says, there's an American company that makes that piece, you know. I says, oh, yeah, I know it. I know exactly where it is. And Kellen says, well, he says, I think we adapted it from that one. Okay. So whoever made the die from that one made it from a Niger Brothers piece. And actually, I have to say, I like this stamping, or it's not stamping, it's the pewter casting better because it's even more delicate. I mean, you can see all the little knobs, and this wasn't open to begin with. Mel's model maker had to take and open that up. I mean, this is the work of a master. The model makers that Mel had over the years, they're masters. And they're the only ones, really, that can reproduce filigree this fine and delicate. So just a little thing there. I thought I'd tell you about that because I got all excited about it. Alrighty, so now I'm going to show you some other Niger Brothers pieces so that you can drool. So go get your Kleenex, girls. Go get your Kleenex. When I went to print these pictures out, I wanted to print them in triplicate. So I think maybe what we'll do is whoever wins the drawing today will get one set of these pictures. I got them from a website called, let me see if I can get this all in the frame because it's a big long piece.
It's okay.
Hey, can you zoom out? Okay, I got this from a website called Clarice Jewelry with a double L, meaning it's probably in UK. I didn't take time to look, but I think it was. And she has a gallery of all these pieces she sold, and she only sells high-end. And most of it's like what I call heavy-duty Czech. And not all the heavy-duty Czech pieces are made by Niger Brothers, but a whole lot of them are. So they made their jewelry up until, I believe, end of 30s, early 40s. And then, sadly, they were in Jablonec, Czechoslovakia, where a lot of the bead stuff comes from still to this day. And they made some kind of a deal, Czechoslovakia, that they would give the opposing army, the German army, in World War II, they would give them Jablonec, that region. And Max and his brother sadly perished in Auschwitz. So that's kind of a downer, but it's bittersweet. I imagine them working in their workshop just like we do, just enjoying their life. So wasn't it nice? They got to make this beautiful stuff, and it exists to this day, and we can enjoy it and we can credit them for their work. So it's always nice when you could do it. Because when I was back in the trade in the early days, we didn't know who made it. And we could never say. You know, you even have to look for the Czechoslovakia mark. It hides on you. Susan Chadwick is here. Susan remembers Miss Barbara too. And we have Pat from Ontario, Canada. Deborah Paris, hey. Pat Counts is here. Renee, I think I saw Renee, but hello again. V's here. Let's see, yeah, a lot of them are commenting, which is that great. So anyway, this type of glass, if you guys can see the nuances, is called Peking glass. And there's real Peking glass, and then there's this costume Peking glass, and this is the costume kind. And I don't remember the total story on that. I have to look it up again. But anyway, so much of this in 30s jewelry, so much. And then again in 50s. And it's still coming out of the warehouses a little bit, but less so. So when you see it, and you have the privilege to buy a little bit of it, don't keep your hands in your pockets. Get it, because you may not see it again. So there's this beautiful piece. And when I look at this, I'm so inspired because what we got here is stuff we could do. You and I. And I'm going to show you something here. See how these connectors are made? They have a little piece in the middle, and then this little piece in the... It's kind of, you know, the bead cap, it frames the piece. But I saw another piece, and I thought I copied it out, and I didn't. And what it was half beads. That's when you have a round bead, but you only have half of it. So you need 2 beads, and then you put like some kind of a spacer in the middle. The Niagara Brothers did that a lot. And I wish I had printed that so I could show you, but maybe I'll try and put a picture on the creative group later. But anyway, so that just inspired me. It sent me off to looking on my site to see what I could find. And lo and behold, let me show you something. You can do this. I found these raining, what do we call them? Raining drops, I think. Bead caps. They look like this.
Oh, yes.
So if you take and you put, let me get a thing here. If you take and you put, let's see, let's get matching ones. These are a little bit darker patina. See, I'm making rosary style chain, but does this not look like old Czech? Does it not?
Is that raw brass?
It does. Yeah, that is. It's patina real dark. I probably got it from Mel or something somewhere back in time. Who knows? Anyway, so I've got that, and you never know. You'll find it Mel's when you go. And I go over there. He got stuff saved for me. Anyway. So I put a piece of impression jasper in the middle. So if I pull it tight and I loop it, it's going to give me that appearance, the old Czech look, really well. So instead of stacking a whole bunch of pieces on like this, which is cool too, and I actually, for myself, I'd probably rather do that, but for the sake of trying to get it a little bit more authentic, you can use the raining drops and a rondelle of some sort in the middle. And the Saturn beads work like the bomb too. So if you have any Saturn beads, you know, the bigger, chunkier ones, that's a really good thing to use. We have, I think, a few of them at the website, but normally when we get them, they're sold out in a day or two. They're gone, 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 gone. And we usually get them in the nice Picasso finishes, which are so trendy now. Look like patina on beads. But anyway, you see what I'm going for here. I'm not wrapped in the best way, but oh well. I'm known for my wonky wraps. But I think even wonky, that's beyond wonky. That's needing done over. But anyway, you get the point. You get the point here. I'm going to hold it in my hand so you can see a little better. So you can see that. I'm going to hold it up, see if I get it in the frame. Yeah, so it's 1 raining drops cap. And then the mixed impression jasper, rondelle, which, by the way, we have a whole bunch more at the site. They just came in this week. Another one, and then twist it off. And then just make chain. Just keep making chain. I have Saturn beads in here. I have a piece of turquoise dyed howlite. I mean, just, you know, the sky's the limit with this. You make your own chunky vintage style chain. So if you use your imagination, you can come up with stuff that's it maybe not be exactly the same as these wonderful parts you see in the old Czech, but it can get pretty close, and then you can put your twist on it, which is really nice. And speaking of twists, I started this last week and I finished it, although I had to put a different class one. That one doesn't match. I just put it on for the time being. And I don't know if I can get it all in the frame, but I wanted to talk about this piece. This is definitely done in the Czech style because it has the cameo mount that's copied from a Niger piece. So that's definitely Czech in spirit. And of course, I've done my own style of gypsy beading, which is kind of figured. And I do a little wire wrap on it and put some odd things and a lot of rondelles in that. Now, in your old Czech jewelry, you're not generally going to see rhinestones. And you certainly would not see AB rhinestones, which these are, which means, in case you don't know, crystal AB, or if you see the colors, it says ruby AB, fuchsia AB, jet AB. That means aurora borealis. And I don't know if I have any of those beads right here in this channel. Well, I can't get them anyway, but that didn't come out till the mid-30s, not mid-30s, like beginning to mid-50s. There was no aurora borealis anywhere before that. Somebody invented it. It's a flash coat that they put on rhinestones. Just like Swarovski comes up with all these different specialty effects and stuff like that. Now, that's all flash coating type stuff. So that's what that was, an early type of flash coating. So anything that you see that has an AB, aurora borealis coat, it means that if it's vintage, it means that it's 50s or newer, okay? So old Czech is not going to have it. So that's where I departed greatly, is by putting AB in here. But that's okay, because I'm doing this my way, right? And then another thing I did to make it kind of like the old Czech, have you guys seen, when you look at this stuff, that a lot of times it has delicate enameling, and just in spots, not the whole piece, just places has it. Well, I always liked that look, but I never could quite get it, you know? I'm kind of challenged with that. So I started looking at the pictures real close, and sometimes I'll look at pictures and I still don't get it. But I realized that all it was they just went over the high points. And when you know it, I don't have one here. Oh, well, I'll get one for later. So they just go to the high points, and that's what I did when I accented this piece. And I'm going to show you, because I'm going to do it on this one too. Okay? So if you can see it, it's just these little dots. Let me get my pointer. I always use my toothpick pointer.
Oh, I see it. I couldn't see it before.
Yeah, it's difficult maybe to see. Can you come any closer on that without it distorting? Sometimes you get too close, it just blurs. Guys, tell us if it blurs. I just want you to see. Maybe if I hold it.
No.
Okay, you got it? You got it? Okay. Can you see how I just, like, there's these little knobs all over the piece. You know, it reminds me of canatile. I think I'm saying it right. I know what it is anyway. It's an old form of brass and metal and gold ornamentation. You can look it up. Cannetille. Canatile. And it reminds me of canatiling. But anyway, I just dotted these little raised spots with the pen, the Impress Art pen, and then I accented some in here. It just, you know, I didn't put it all over the piece because then it wouldn't have that true Czechy look, because that's how they did the enameling. They didn't slather it all over the place and antique it and wash it off like, you know, we do, which I shouldn't say slather, because our stuff looks pretty good too. It looks nice too. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's how they did it. So in order to do this, I'm just going to, normally what I do with the gingerbread is I like to take their gold pen, the Impress Art gold pen, and go over it and kind of wipe it back a little bit, because it lightens up the gingerbread a little bit, and I just kind of like the look of it, especially when I'm using a lot of colorful beads. If you want a darker look, and then if you're using darker beads or whatever, you maybe leave it alone. But anywho, I'm going to show you how we do it. Let's see who's here. Erica! She finally figured out how to comment from her iPad. Well, you're ahead of me, kid, because I don't know how, and this is an iPad. But I guess I don't have to. Michelle Flores is here. Jan's here. Jan usually is here.
39
Bless her heart.
people.
We got 39. Awesome. Awesome. So anyway, all I'm going to do is just, and you have to be careful because you don't want to you don't want to get it off your little dit dots or whatever you call these knobby things.
I think it would pop up more on the darker gingerbread too.
It might. We're going to find out, aren't we, hubby?
Yeah.
You want to get it thoroughly. See, this is, I'm glad this happened because then you can see. If it gets off of there, then have fun. Okay, see how I got it off the mark a little bit? So I'm going to have a little trouble getting that off. But I'm not going to worry about it right now.
So how do you remove it?
I probably have to just stress it off and do that part again.
Okay.
But just for the sake of time, I'm going to try and make it a little bit better looking. Yeah, don't get off to the side. Stay, and this is not easy because you're going to want to get off. See, I did it again. So you got to be looking right at it. I'm talking to you guys. It's your fault. It's all you guys' fault. See, I did it again. Well, now you see how to do it the messy way. It doesn't work. So I'm just going to go here. I really can do it right. I proved it on this one. Okay.
Just take some practice.
I wanted to do this whole thing for you, but once again, Brenda Sue's just not doing so hot. So let me see if I can distress it off and start over. Okay. I probably can. Well, it's good if you see this too, right? Sure.
Well, they can't see it.
Oh, it's out of the frame. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. I got him.
Yep. But now it stayed down the cracks. So it just shows you got to do this very, very carefully. Even though you've got the pen and it makes it easier.
Does it dry instantly?
It dries quick. I wouldn't have been able to do that. But see, now I'm going to still have to deal with that down in there. So I may have to just go over it all afterwards. But just for the sake of showing you how it's supposed to be, I'm going to try to do it right. And then I'll deal with my messes later. So you want to stay right on point with your dit dotting. There may be even dotting pens, but I doubt they have them in this color. But you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm just doing, just the little knobby pieces, the little raised parts. And you can do what looks good to you. Whatever appeals to you, then you do that.
Purple.
Well, I don't know if I'd put purple on here, Javi. Do you think it would show up?
Probably.
You think? Well, then you're going to have to make it some, and then you're going to have to show us next week.
Okay.
So, speaking of which, I want to tell you. Next week, we're going to have to do this on Friday.
What is it?
We're going to have our live on Friday.
Okay.
Because we're not going to be here at all on Sunday. We got something else we got to go to.
Live.
So if you come here next Sunday and you don't see us, it's because you didn't pay attention.
We'll give you a heads up.
Oh, we'll remind you.
We'll be like, Friday.
Anyway, I'm doing a really poor job, but I just want you to get the point. I can do better than this, and especially with these pens. I'm trying to hurry because I got so much I want to show you. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anybody got any questions? Lisa said she finally made it. My pens should be delivered this week. Yeah, they're in the mail, Miss Jan, along with your order. Yeah, I did a special order on these pens after last week, and a bunch of them got them, and they've all gone out. So if you ordered a set, then yours has gone out. And if I have another special order to send in, I'm going to send it in tonight. So if you want me to get you a set, you get actually 5 pens because there's a black pen too. So you'll get that, and then it's $42, and that includes the shipping. Right, right, Javi, you're right. Yeah, he likes it too. Includes the shipping, and if I order them tonight, I'll probably have them by Friday. And I'm not asking anybody to pay up front, which normally I do on a special order because I can't get stuck with stuff, and sometimes people change their mind and all that. But in this case, I'll do it because if someone reneges, it won't be the end of the world. We'll sell them. So anyway, but you see the point, what I'm doing here. You see the point, even though it's really, really messy. You see the point.
Debbie Gibson said sometimes accidents make beautiful pieces.
Well, they do, and I can distress that off, and it's going to still look good. But I wanted to go for
I kind of like it like that.
this look.
But it's pretty.
You know, yeah.
It pops out.
Yeah, it pops out a little bit more on this one, I think. But anyway, I'll finish that later, or else I'll just dress it off and do something else. But that would be a real Czechy enamel type look. You don't go over the whole piece. You just look for little raised areas to accent. And typical Czech enameling colors would be white, yellow, red, sometimes a medium blue type color. This is not really typical Czech color, you'll find, but it's just so pretty on this, I really don't care. So there.
Karen said, could you apply paint with a toothpick?
Yes, you could do that, and I maybe should have done that, but I didn't. Because I was successful doing this one, I thought I could just roll right through that, but it didn't work out. So yeah, you could do that. But if you wanted to use these patina paints, you would probably need to try and express a little bit of paint out, and it dries so fast, so I don't know. But to make this look instead, you might want to try one of the vintage enameling bottle things. It's not exactly that color. I don't know if it'll cover like this, because this stuff covers like the bottom. But vintage isn't bad too. It's a Ranger product. You know, the vintage people didn't make it, it's Ranger, but it's branded. But I like those inks. They're good, and you don't always have to seal them either. They're pretty strong. So yeah, Karen, to answer you, why not? Sure. Susan Chadwick won't be here next Sunday either. I bet for the same reason. We have to go to our convention. Anyway, so I want to show you how I did this. I did the little figured links, and then I put the little piece in between, and then I put this, and I put another one in. Now, here's the dealio. Chris Kemp wrote me earlier this week, and she gave me an idea for a video, and I keep thinking, like, how could I teach that effectively? She said, do you ever think about, like, if you could teach a video on how you could get things to stand straight, not stand straight, hang right.
Hang right, yeah.
Hang right without flopping around.
I agree.
And there are so many factors to that, it's crazy. One of the factors is a necklace too long? I think this one is, for all this stuff to be hanging off of it. I love the look of it. Aesthetically, I love the look of it, but when I put it on, it stays okay, but then it flops. It's only a matter of time it's going to flop. But this is a long necklace. It's a 30-inch necklace. So what could I do to remedy that? Well, I could take these pieces out, this one and that one, and then just put that up there. And then there wouldn't be as much for it to twist in the wind, so to speak.
Well, sometimes I did use 2 jump rings in the holes.
Yes, that too.
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah, and and the reason you have to do that, Javi, is because it depends on your loop.
It depends on
which way it's going. Like, for example, and I'm sure you guys know this, like if it's going, oh, let me just get another one. Here's one. Okay. If it's going like this, you know, across, and you're going to have one going up and down, obviously. You know, if it won't work that way, then you got to put an extra one. Sometimes you have to put 3, depending, and that'll help. Another thing that helps a lot, and when you're making your own beaded sections, it takes a little bit more time and thought, but you need to get all of your sections turned exactly the same way. So if you have a loop that's facing a certain way, then the other loop better be facing that way. And then all the beads in the necklace need to face that way too. Sometimes it won't matter. On this one, I don't think it will. Nah. Because you don't have that much going on. But the longer the sections are, the more likely that it might do that. Not always. Another option you would have to make this not roll around would be to make it shorter. Because if it stays up on your chest, it's not going to do that probably. not this piece, because it's very much weighted. So if I made it a lot shorter, maybe to here, and hung it, let's see, I can't show you because I have to put it on me, and you can't see me because I'm in my pajamas. That's my standard work uniform. Okay, so I would have to put, yeah, that would do it. I'd have to end it.
I was thinking even a heavier piece would make it flip too, usually.
Yeah, this is a good weight though, and it's made for that. But yeah, if you put it too heavy,
Yeah. Well,
too light. Also, like, I was so tickled to get these mounts from 1928 because they are cast, and cast mounts tend to hang better than the brass ones, because if you use a brass mount, it's thinner, and then you put a heavy stone in there or whatever you're going to do, and it's a little bit too much to one side too much. Like, this side is heavier than this side somehow. I don't know if I can explain it right, but they're just not as substantial. They're very nice, nothing wrong with them, but they might be better for shorter necklaces rather than long ones. If you're going to make the long necklaces, I'm thinking end it with a tassel. That'll keep it hanging straight. If you end it with a tassel, it's going to hang straight. Or use a heavier piece on the end. That's my take on that. Okay, so that's what I made last week to finish up. Now, let's see what everybody's saying. That color is perfect. Sometimes accidents make beautiful pieces. Yeah. Let's see. Still pretty with it going on the crest. Thank you, Karen. Let's see. Carrie Ramsauer is here. Vicky is here. Let's see. Love the use of the connector. Yeah, we kind of came up with that last week, didn't we, guys? You know, when I got this to begin with, here's one from last week. I thought, I might have said this last week too. Stop me. Okay, Colleen, we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for coming, honey. I had hoped to make it into bracelet piece, but yeah, I did tell you this. I remember now. But there's these reinforcing bars in the back. You just can't bend it. So we have to find something else to do. So I'm looking for it to use as pendants. And like last week, where is that piece from last week? It was sitting here. Huh. Well, I know it's here. Where is the question? I don't know. But that one that had the cat's eye in the middle of it. Well, we'll find it after this is over. It had one in the side, which was really pretty. Look, if you look on the creative group in the photos, you'll find a picture of it. Well, that annoys me because it was laying right here. Oh, well, whatever. We will find it. So, yeah, this makes a nice side connector, like, say, it beads going this way, and you got beads going this way, and it's in the side of the necklace. It looks really cool that way, too. But again, you got to get it hooked up right so it doesn't rock and roll on you. So there you go again. Alrighty, so let's look at a few more of my beautiful pictures because I got some really cool ideas, and I'm thinking it might give you some inspiration too. And then I'll send you off to her website and tell you a little more about it. Let's see if we get this in this frame. Oh, more down? Mm-hmm. More down? Okay. This way? This way.
Like right there. Yep, perfect.
Okay. All right. All this is right here, the motif, is stacked brass stampings, because you will not find many, if any, cast pieces in old Czech jewelry. It's generally always made on filigree of some sort. Some kind of open work stuff. The same with the old West German jewelry, which is all 50s, 50s, 60s, even into the 70s. You know, I'm going to just throw this out there. You know, certain people who shall remain unnamed, let me take a swig, thought that they invented manipulated filigree a few years ago. And they certainly were masters at doing it. But they by no means invented it. And the old Czech pieces and the old West German pieces are proof of it, because that was done in the old filigree jewelry. So anyway, maybe they thought they discovered it. Maybe they didn't know, but they didn't. So there you go. On this one, very simple for us to do. They've used, looks like Millefiori type. Actually, might be even Cherry Brand, which, you know, Cherry Brand's Japanese. So that would say to me, this probably isn't even completely authentic. Whoa. Could it be a forgery? Well, there's a few reasons why I think so. Even though I like this plan here, what's going on here, and you guys can duplicate it. And in fact, yesterday on my page, an advanced jewelry expert that I really admire came on my page and was talking about Niagara Brothers, and she says, well, how do you know for sure? And I thought she was playing devil's advocate with me. But she really wasn't. She wanted to know if I knew. But anyway, it caused me to look at one piece in my collage a little differently. And I got to looking at it, and I realized this is not a Niagara Brothers. This is not even Czech. This is made from new old parts like I saw. Very cleverly. It had new Czech rosary chain in it. This is not done then. You know, the color of this silver is not true. It's just not. These beads, I believe, are cherry brand, the more I look at them. Or they could be Italian, but they're not Czech. I can't believe they are. And these little pieces here they still make, which doesn't really mean anything. But the way the enamel is applied to this, it looks like a wash, like I used a pen. This as well. It just looks like it's stacked and created. This stampings may well be European, though. But another thing that tells me, in case you want to know for vintage reasons, you find a piece and you want to know if it's legit, because sometimes it's very hard to find the Czech mark. Right here. What do you guys see here? You guys, can you tell? Can you tell? The spring ring clasp would be right. A lot of the old pieces ended with the spring ring clasp. But look at the end piece. That's a patina brass jump. Now, if that was original, it'd be silver. So it's either a repaired piece and somebody put that on there so they could wear it, because you would need that to be able to wear it, or it's not original at all. And I think from the color of this plating on here and just the way it's put together, I don't think this is legit after all. So this woman sold this for big bucks, and whoever bought it, I think, I don't know, I'm not an expert on everything, but I'm just, my flags are going up. I don't think this is a real piece of Czech any more than this is. In fact, mine might be more Czech than that, because at least the piece was cast from stuff like that. And my beads are definitely Czech beads. But anyway, but I still think this is a great idea. Great design idea here. And you could totally do this one. You know, you can't, a lot of these pieces you say, oh, well, you know, I can't do that because I'll never be able to find the parts to closely enough make that look. And sometimes you can't. You just kind of have to take the inspiration from it and go whichever way you can to achieve a look that makes you have that feeling. But this one you could do. So, you know, you just find the pieces and you could definitely put this together. You know, I don't have this exact connector, but those, you know, when I look at them, they almost look cast to me.
They remind me of one of the 1928 pieces we had.
Yeah, the only thing that 1928, now just to show you a little bit about this, 1928, what do you think is on this necklace? Those of you who know 1928 jewelry have a little bit of it, or maybe a lot of it. What do you think about the construction of this would not be 1928? Any ideas? Anybody want to tell me? Anybody know? I'll wait just a couple seconds. Because you may not, and it's okay if you don't. I'm going to tell you. All right, I'll tell you what. These beads here are too chunky for this design to be put in this part.
That's what I was thinking.
They look clumsy. Mr. Burney wouldn't have allowed that. He would have had them put in this type of chain, the fine silver here. But if they'd done that, you wouldn't have that pop of color here, which I think makes the centerpiece. So there's a little design dilemma for you. You know, what would you do? Well, if you wanted this look and you wanted the pop of color, you either have to like enamel something, or you'd have to use a smaller bead if you could find one that had the mixed colors. But this bead is too big to be used here. And here's another little thing I just saw. Ooh-hoo, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. There are silver connectors and there's silver jumps in here, and there's also patina brass ones. So yeah, this isn't legit at all. Somebody put this together. Yeah, here's 2 patina brass jumps, and here's 2 silver ones. Yeah, no. Always look for that. If you try to tell if a piece is legit, one of the 2 first things that you're going to look for is at the clasp, and then check to see if the jump rings look like they've been opened and closed a lot, and do they match? There you go. Alrighty, let's see. Let's look at another piece. Okay.
Look at another piece.
More section. The chicken's getting bored. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Now, here's an example of one probably we would not easily be able to reproduce one just like this. And that would be, now you could make a pendant in this feeling, like for example, maybe just use your enamels and stuff. Like, this is from 1920.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. You could use this piece.
In the name.
And then there's a lot of little dots on this one. Yeah, Karen, I think we'll be getting our toothpick out for this one. But you got them all over the place here. You got them on the cross hatching. You got a little flower in the middle. Erica used this in her line for Build Line last year. Didn't you, Erica? I think you did. I think you beat me to it. She had this lovely lavender enamel on the silver. Gorgeous stuff. Beautiful line. When I showed, every time Mr. Bernie sees the picture of Erica's line, he just goes, that could be 28 in a minute. He says that, if she'd walked in here back in the days when we had designers, I would have hired her now. See, now when you were out there, Erica, he didn't know you had this talent, right? But he didn't have any designers anymore then either, so, Anyway, I have 3 hardstone cameras, 800 silver. These are really pretty. What could I do with these to get them out? It is in bad shape, too weak to use the connectors. It would take them out without breaking. Well, I don't know without seeing it. I don't know without seeing it entirely. But it sounds like, yeah, the piece needs to be taken apart and then use it another way. And yeah, do be careful with those cameos, because if they're an 800 silver, they're probably carved. They're not molded, or they're not glass. They're probably shell. So yeah, that's why I gotta take it apart and make it, do a redo on that. That's a candidate for responsible repurposing, which I preach every day of my life. There's nothing wrong with repurposing. You know, waste not, want not. It's a beautiful, beautiful component. Use it. If I found one of these components somewhere, this necklace was all broken up and I couldn't put it back together again, let's say some of them were missing rhinestones and I couldn't get them, I would have no problem with taking it apart. And this is probably a Niagara Brothers piece. And the Niagara Brothers pieces go for big money. You know, we used to, for a piece like this, we used to get $75, $100, which is decent enough. But now, Niagara Brothers pieces go up to $1,000 sometimes, depending. So, you know, you kind of hate to do that, but you know, it's imperfect. I don't know. If it had the mark on it, maybe I would put it up as is and let a collector have it, because they might be able to do something better than I could. But yeah, if you found something like this and it was all messed up, take the parts out that are good and use them. But how sad would it be if you found this beautiful necklace out there, perfect condition, not missing any stones, ready to go, can wear it, and you thought, oh, I could do something better with that, and you started tearing it down. And then one day you find an article or something comes past you and you see that the piece was valuable. if you could get $1,000 for this, would you tear it down? Heck no.
No.
Put that on eBay, it'd be sold quick. So,
That's what I would
and you know,
do.
it means money to you to know these things. So don't tear apart stuff like this when you find it, unless it's just broken beyond belief. And in that case, then yeah, yeah. Unless it's got a Niger mark and you can find it, then I might sell it as is because you get more for it. I'm trying to look and see what else I have. Oh, I love this. Isn't that? Doesn't that pop? I think it pops. Now, how in the world will we make something that looks like this?
A good question.
It's a good question. Well, we can get the enamel pens. We could do that. There is a connector in Bisou by 1928 that has a little bit of this look, but what these are, they're brass pieces that they have bent around. They're actually gallery wire. And gallery wire is that thin banding, and they use it in chandeliers and picture frames and blah, 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 whatnot. Not so much a jewelry thing. So it would come in a great big roll. In fact, I have rolls of gallery wire. I didn't have one in here. If I was thinking, I would have brought one in to show you. But anyway, it's pieces of gallery wire. They've cut off the roll, and then they've manipulated and bent it to go on there. And then they've soldered. This is soldered on here because it's got dimension. It's sticking up. It's soldered on. So, you know, what could you do? Well, instead of that, you know, you might get some jump rings and some cast pewter, or if you have gallery wire, have at it. I don't think I have any this narrow. If I did, I would go cut a piece off and then see what would happen. I have some chain like this. But these are glass. And you know what happens a lot of times, and this is the Niger Brothers, a lot of times what happens when you find these guys is that the circles are broken. Some of them are chipped up and broken, and the necklace is so short you can't wear it if you try to fix it. If, excuse me, so that can be a heartbreak. I've had my heart broken a few times over that, but there's some places I think you can buy these now. I don't carry them. You know, sometimes you can get some vintage ones. Maybe they took them, cabbaged them off of an old piece or whatever. So, or maybe you have some in your stash. Or you can buy the brass circlets and paint them red. Woohoo! And we carry those. We have plenty of those that we work here. So there's an idea for you too. And this piece right here in the center, we don't have anything exactly like this because these are old Czech stampings. And I don't have any old Czech stampings. I've only had old Czech stampings a few times in the years that I've been selling stampings. And I didn't have many. So, you know, you're going to have to kind of improvise something. So nobody's talking right now. Did they all go away?
No.
No?
Probably still watching.
They're still watching. I'm probably,
They're
yakking too much. Maybe they went to sleep and snore. Yeah.
I'll wake you up.
Anyway, you have to improvise something for the centerpiece and for the dangle drop. But, I mean, you could definitely be inspired by this look and do something with it. So, anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And I'm finding this gingerbread to be just really, really good for making this kind of look because it has an authentic look. Something else I found that I like this combination, little lovebirds, and put this piece, I made this piece last week. And then, you know, I'm worried that maybe we went off or something because nobody's saying anything. Somebody say something so I know this is still here. We're still cooking. So anyway, you could do that. I like this forget-me-not piece too. And we could put the patina on that as well. There we go. Betty says, there they are. Vicky says, I'm mesmerizing. I think you're all asleep. Bored to tears. You know, I get on a roll. But, you know, these pieces just, they're made from these old stampings. You can see that I've proved it today. So they're just born to be made into Czech look pieces. So we have a lot of stones that really are that look. You can still find that mottled green Peking look check. I've had it so many times. You can find it in pink and green mostly. You find it. Might have some pink ones on the site, come to think of it. And we have all these beads. But you guys got beads too. You got beads galore in your stash. I mean, just go look around and start playing around with different, excuse me, combinations to make your sections. Like, for example, this one. I use those bronzy green patina caps. Maybe I hold it up here so you can see them there. Not sleeping, taking notes. Okay. I just got worried because we're a chatty bunch, and all of a sudden, like for 3 minutes, nobody said anything. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm worn up to tears. Okay, so what I did is I use those green bronzy zinc ones that we have them on the site. We still have quite a few, as a matter of fact. They come in sets of 12. They're very inexpensive. And I put a Saturn bead in the middle that had kind of that greenish tone to it, which I think we used them. Oh, no, it might be this one. Might be this one. No, that's too light. It's not that one. But anyway, a Saturn bead, which if you know what, if you don't know what a Saturn bead, I'm going to show you. This is a Saturn bead. Right here. You see it in this? That's a Saturn bead right here. Like Saturn has a ring around it, I think. That's Saturn bead. Anyway, okay, so then I did that, put a Saturn bead in the middle, encapsulized it, put a rondelle, used some cute little funky beads, which we have tons of that kind of stuff. I kind of specialize in cute little funky bits. So, and then just, you know, kind of put it together, and it has so much texture and imagination. You can have a ball with this kind of being a stacked boho beading. And you can see how you can make it look like, you know, beautiful old Czech stuff. So this week, whoever wins the drawing is going to get some of these printouts because, I don't know, it just kept spitting them out in threes, so I might as well share them. And I'm going to give you some of the gingerbread here. I'm going to give you a black Impress Art pen. I have a couple here that haven't been opened. We carry them on the site too. I'm pretty sure Shelly puts them up. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. I'm going to get them. What are they good for? They're good for like this kind of a piece to fill in the words on it so you can see it better. That's what they're made for. For people who do metal stamping, you know, with the little font type stamps. And they put little sayings on maybe aluminum or sterling or whatever, copper. It's to darken it for metal. That's what their purpose in the beginning was for. But just found out so many other things you do. I mean, you could use that green right here on the little flowers. Be so pretty. This is kind of one of those sleeper pieces from the website. People, it kind of goes zipping on by it. That's why we always tend to have a pretty good stock of them, because they just don't quite get the piece. This piece is one of the sweetest, prettiest pieces that I've had. When I saw this, the casting for this, I'm like, yes, 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 I must have that. But it is hollow on the back, and it does not have your typical 28 patterning like this does. But this is definitely 28. So, but that's, once in a while you'll find a piece like that. It doesn't have it. So anyway. Annette says, I can't understand the conversation. I can't wear earphones. My ear is still tender from the graft from my nose. Still enjoy watching. Am I not talking? She's got me mic'd up. Maybe I'm slurring my words or something. I'm sorry, Annette, but I'm glad you're here with us, and I hope your ear feels better soon. I'll try to talk up. I do have a problem with that. I don't have a very big voice. That's why she has me mic'd up. But anyway, I'll do my best.
Somebody was asking about these beads. We don't have them on the site.
No, we don't. Is there interest among you guys for cat's eye beads? You can put it in the comments afterwards if you catch this later and you want to keep watching. These are 6mm, and these are the faceted ones. I don't like, it's me, I don't like the perfectly round ones. I love the ones with faceting, and I think they're awesome. And I have brought quite a few in here because I'm working on my line for the Build a Line class, which we're coming up to the finish line now on that. Gloria's probably working on hers. Hi. Huh, Miss Gloria? I can't even talk. Miss Gloria is probably working on her line right now. Huh, Miss Gloria. she's going to beat me up when she sees me again. Miss Gloria's coming to the workshop.
Yay!
Yay! She's a fun girl. So anyway, you guys let me know. I have some orange, dark reddish orange ones, and I have some blue ones that I was going to use in my line. But no, I don't have any to sell. But if you guys have interest in these, I'll start checking around and see what I can do. And I'll bring on, we're bringing in a lot of beads these days, in case you don't know that. Go to the site. We have goobers of vintage plastic that are awesome. And plastic is often passed by for the wrong reason. I mean, Bakelite was plastic, right? So we have some great ones. And then we have a lot of glass ones now, too. Some are new, some are older. We have Czech Preciosa pearls, which are beautiful, and a whole mess of... Oh, you know what we have? And then we didn't bring any out. Oh, shoot. Next time.
What is it?
Those little bell beads that we just got. You weren't here when they came. We have them in 10 colors. Those little tiny itty bitty bell beads that you can, they're Czech, and you can use them for bead caps if you want, or tiny little drops or dingly danglies, whatever.
Here, I have my iPad.
Oh yeah, here. Javi's got them drawn up here. This is cool, Javi. This is great. Can you guys see them? Well, I got it at an angle. I need to keep it flat, right?
Yep.
So, anyway, this is a new bead mix I made the other day. And we call it Rich Claret. It has purple, it has burgundy, it has some blues and stuff in it. But that's all plastic. It's designer plastic, though. And then we have these little bell beads. Look at those. Aren't those darling, these little mint and lilac ones?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, can you, expand
Dun,
that.
dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun,
Look how big
dun.
they got.
Yeah. But they're really quite tiny and little. So, yeah. I think we're on something here, Javi. And then these ones are pretty, too. Up. Let's go back here. That's like a midnight blue, a little bit of flash
yes.
on it. Really pretty. We have them in 10 colors. They cost $3.50. You get 25. Last time I had these, they didn't last too long. I got white, which, used to be nobody wanted white beads. But I'll tell you what, I want them. They can be used so many ways. So I've kept some of these for me. Oh, yeah. Then we have this apricot color. That's pretty sweet. I like that. This is neat. She called it Mystic. Diane named it Mystic Topaz. But it's got a little bit of green in it. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Mardi Gras colors, actually.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, Mardi Gras. So there's a lot of things there. And there's the Czech pearls and stuff. So anyway. So you guys just have to go there, and that is the glass beads section at BeadsBoutiques.com. I'll tell you something funny. Want to hear a story? What did you say? Want to hear a story? Here's my story. This is how it goes. Something like that.
Yeah.
They would say. Okay. A lady was looking at my video the other day. I can't remember which one it was. It was a sweet, sweet lady. And she took her time to comment, and she said, oh, I just love your videos. They're so special to me. I learned so much. I was so excited when I was done. I just had to run out and go to Michael's and buy some stuff so I could get started. And I'll come to your website when I can. I'm like, okay.
So you should come to the website now.
Thanks. Well, I hope you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good time making what you're making. But everything she wanted from that video was at our website, and Javi had stepped out all the SKUs. And at $50, we have free shipping in the United States.
Hey, we have coupons.
And Michael's has some fat ones too, but usually it's for the stuff you don't even want.
Yeah, exactly.
But anywho, so I just said, well, we're able to make these videos because people come and check us out and buy something from us once in a while. So maybe you'd like to check us out sometime. But anyway, I didn't hear from her again. I didn't want to embarrass her. But anyway, this would make a pretty centerpiece hanging, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I like this with this too. There's two little impressions, depressions, whatever you want to call them. You can put chatons in here. I was thinking about putting some of these little pearls. Have you guys seen these on my site yet? I think Gloria wanted them. I think she got some. They have all these different sizes of flat back pearls. Now, I only have white and cream at the time. I hope to graduate out into the colors, but I can only get white and cream this time. These are just so awesome. They come in handy. Here's the white one. Or maybe this is the cream one. Yeah, it's white. So, you know, it's all separated for you. You don't have to separate them. They're just ready to go. And these are so sturdy. These little, it's probably, you know what, this is still taped together because it's new and I never use it yet.
I think that one's
Won't be using that now. Okay, but you see how it clamps down, locks down real quite tight. You can hear it. Snap. So there's 6, I think it goes from 4 millimeter to 12. So that's pretty sweet for feedback. I think it was like $5.75 or something for that. Not a lot. So anyway, Julie likes the little Czech flowers. Yay, I do too. How do you order the markers? Betty, just email me. Email me and tell me you want a set, and I'll just get an extra set, and then, you know, we'll divvy it up later. We'll get. Gloria got both the cream and the white. Yeah, Gloria loves her pearls. Yeah, anybody that wants a set of those Impress Art pens, I am sending in, or I am not going to carry them on my site for various reasons I'm not going to get into because I'll bore you to tears. But anyway, I can get them for you, and periodically I'll just throw that out there that I can get them. It's a nice price because you get your shipping rolled in. So, and I can get them for you if you want me to. But I don't have to. If you find them when you're out and about, why, you know, don't sit there on your head. Whatever, I always say sit on your head. You know, and you see a green one because that's the favorite. That's the one everybody wants to know. I can't get that separately right now. They say that I'm going to be able to, but I can't right now. So, you know, if you see it, go ahead and get it. But if you want me to get you a set, I would be delighted. Just let me know. So, let's see. What else are they saying? I love the German plastic, or is it resin? Sometimes it's resin, and sometimes it's acrylic. Sometimes it's lucite. Just depends. So, but yeah, I love that too. So let's see. It's getting to be 5:30, and I gotta make dinner. How many of you guys gotta go make dinner today? I bet a bunch of you do. We've been on here for an hour now. How about that? It goes fast, doesn't it, guys? It goes so fast. So what I'm hoping is that by Friday when we meet again, because we're gonna do it Friday this week instead of Sunday. We're going to do it Friday instead. 4:30, same time, same station. But on Friday, because we won't be here on Sunday at all. Okay? So, I hope to see you on Friday. And I hope, because it's not too long until Friday, I got less time to do it, to put some more things together in a Czech style. If you belong to the creative group on Facebook, most of you do, I know. If you don't, please come join us. I'll put the URL in the comments section or the description afterwards. Please come join us. We would love to have you. It's a great group. I've been putting a lot of pictures on lately and explaining what the things are. I don't know all this stuff right off the bat either. I have to go look it up and do research too, but at least it's something that I can perhaps talk intelligently about, even if I do have to go look it up. So, vintage jewelry is my love, and I don't know if I'm going to teach responsible repurposing this summer or not. I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I may do something else with it. I might make it into short book, maybe do a video class. It seemed like you guys liked that when I was talking about it, so maybe you wouldn't mind video class with lectures. My problem to do a class like that with responsible purposing, or even a book, is that I don't own that jewelry, and I can't just lift pictures off of Pinterest and put them into a class that I charge money for. I'll get in trouble for that, and it's just not ethical, and I try to do everything that I do ethically. So I would have to either get people who have that kind of stuff to loan me pieces, which I might be able to, I have a good collection, but I don't have any of Czech like this, you know. We could possibly use Janine Bell's books or the Warmans, and we just could go through it and enjoy it and talk about it. You know, we could do those live. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly yet. I know people love to take that class, but it seems like it's hard to engage anybody. Maybe they're all sleeping and mesmerized too. I don't know. But they say after it's over, they learned a lot, so I hope so. Vicki says she'll be working Friday. I'm so sorry, Vicki. I know weekdays aren't the best, but we hate to miss a week. We try, I didn't this last Friday, but we try to do a video just about every Friday. That's the produced type where Javi has to edit. But we didn't do one last Friday, but we're trying to get one on Friday that's edited and then one on the weekend that's live. So, Cindy Charette, hi, how you doing? Good to see you here. So we're just going to have to replace the produced video for a live one so that we don't miss a week with you, because we don't want to do that. We like to stay on track. Thank you too, Vicki. I really appreciate your comments. So guys, hurry up, get your comments in there, because I'm gonna quit for today and go make my vegetable soup. So get your comments in there so you can be included for the drawing. I hope you win. Trudy Boatwright, I see you grew. Yes, I do carry that. They are. The wolf pliers are fantastic. We just had a big shipment of them, and they're most of them gone. So come get them, and you can use your coupons on that. Anything on the website, you can use your coupons on. So yeah, these are the ones that I use in all my jewelry making adventures. These ones. This is, I saw the set. They're the wolf. People ask me about this like all the time. These. So, oh, and people have asked me, I'll just tell you this before I sign off. People have asked me about, you know, how's my book coming along? I finished the first draft. It took me a long time. But we're ready to get it in development, tear it apart, put it back together, make it look good, polish it up. And after that, it just needs to be proofread, which doesn't take too terribly long. And then it will go to layout and design. And I don't think all that stuff's going to take so long, because professionals handle that. I don't. So I think we'll be on time about September, end of September, beginning of October. It'll be out. The one about 1928 jewelry. Okay, thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, Gloria, I like the notch. They're the bomb. Deborah, thank you. I have to tell you, I got brave, and I read the whole thing, beginning to end. And I told Valerie, my editor, I says, I hate this. We've got some work to do on this. I says, I love my last 3 chapters. And why is that they're so much better than the others? She says, well, you learned how to write. So until you got to the end, you were good at it. I'm like, oh. I says, the last chapters are written first person, and I think that's why. I need to write like I talk. You know, and she didn't want me, she wanted me to write it all perfect. So we'll see. We'll come up with something. It won't be all terrible ones. It's really not terrible. It's just not what I want it to be. But it will be. We'll whip it into shape. Okay, I'm talking on enough. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Annette. Thanks, V. Cindy, yeah, it'll be here for you know. It's a process for sure. Okay, I can't say goodbye to everybody, but thank you so much for coming. Oh, there's Melissa with Harpo, too. I didn't see him. Thank you so much, and we will see you on Friday, 4:30 p.m. EST, and I don't know the date. It'll be probably March 22nd?
No.
No?
Well, yes.
March 22nd.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Alrighty. Bye-bye. Love you.
Bye. We'll see you Friday.